Well, I think Sean, both because of his own career and his own background, and because he had the courage to take on Dave Obey when people thought it was hopeless, Sean has become, I think, a real symbol for taxpayers all across America and for conservatives all across America, that here's somebody with courage and somebody who has got a great work ethic and somebody who is willing to go out and do what he thinks is right for the country. So I think he has a unique following of people who are aware of him. And I think from that standpoint, when I talked to Tommy Thompson this morning, he was just really very enthusiastic about this campaign, and Tommy has a pretty good knowledge of Wisconsin politics.
Mr. Gingrich, this district elected Dave Obey, who is an unapologetic liberal, over and over again for 40 consecutive years. He said, quote, "There's no way this progressive district would elect somebody like Sean Duffy." Are you concerned that your appearance here might backfire because his opponents, Mr. Duffy's opponents, are already trying to tie him to everything you said that might be controversial in the past, particularly about Social Security and Medicare?
Yeah, well, I mean, first of all, what his opponent has said about Social Security and Medicare is just not true. And it's unfortunate to see a liberal politician who has to descend to being dishonest. What I've said over and over again is we have to find a way to save Social Security, and we have to find a way to save Medicare. And in 1996, I chaired the Medicare task force at a time when we've been told that Medicare was going to go broke, and I helped author a bill which Bill Clinton signed, which saved Medicare. So I think my background is dramatically more real than her attacks. Second, the number one issue in this district is the same as the number one issue in every district in the country. Do you want somebody who's a job creator, like Sean Duffy, or do you want somebody who went to Madison and killed jobs? And I think you're going to have a really clear choice this fall between job killers and job creators. And I represent very proudly people who worked with Ronald Reagan to pass 3 tax cuts and create the entire boom of the 1980s and 90s. We passed a tax cut when I was Speaker and balanced the federal budget at the same time. And I deeply believe in a job creation focus, because when Americans are working, America works. But when Americans aren't working, then America as a country doesn't work.
You called for a 50% cut in the Social Security payroll tax. Wouldn't that bankrupt the system? And doesn't that play?
I would transfer money out of the stimulus package and other big spending to make up for the tax cut. I mean, you can't have people out there who are going to double the national debt in 8 years tell you that we can't afford tax cuts. The only reason you can't afford tax cuts is because they're big spenders who want your money to give to their bureaucrats to take care of their politicians. I think we'd be much better off to return the money back to you, to let you decide how you want to spend your own money.
And finally, sir, some have said that your appearance here isn't so much to support Mr. Duffy, it's because you're running for president and you want to increase your visibility in the swing state of Wisconsin.
Well, as I told the audience earlier, I'm going to make an appearance later on this August in Whitehall, where my mother-in-law lives. I'm going to make an appearance later on this fall, this August, in Stevens Point, where my brother-in-law and sister-in-law live. I'm about to go over and make an appearance in Sheboygan, golfing with my son-in-law who's from Sheboygan, and I hope to get back for a Packers game since I'm a stockholder. So you'll see me in Wisconsin without any regard to a presidential campaign, because I have family all across the state.
Are you running for president?
Calista and I will make that decision along with our family probably in February or March, but we're not going to. All I'm worried about from now to this election is winning every possible seat. Having people like Sean Duffy, people like Scott Walker, the quality candidates we're getting, really give us a chance for a better future for Wisconsin and for America.
Given what's happened right now with things like talk of the Disclosure Act passing, or perhaps issues in Iran detracting in a wag the dog scenario, Mr. Speaker, do you see that there's going to be concerted efforts like that being a visible reality before November to derail things?
Sure, look, the left isn't stupid. They haven't dominated this country, despite being a minority, without a level of ruthlessness and a level of cleverness that's historic. They will do everything they can to win this fall, and that's fine. That's their right to try to do that. But I think the American people will see through it. I think we've now had over a year and a half of failure. We have the highest unemployment rate for a continuous period since the Great Depression. I think it's clear that you have a big spending president who isn't accomplishing very much. It's clear that in the Gulf of Mexico, the Obama administration failed miserably to follow up with the BP disaster and do the right thing. It's clear that on the border they have failed miserably. And I think that it's going to be very hard for them to overcome that and to go to the country and somehow ask for votes for a policy of unemployment, failure, and high debt.
Do you